Hello and welcome. You're watching Small Cap Power, and joining us today is Frank Holmes, the CEO and Chief Investment Officer of US Global Investors. Frank, thank you so much for your time.
It's great to be with you.
When there is rhetoric like taxes and tariffs, people tend to resort to going to the safe havens like gold. What will happen to gold in coming times?
Well, gold, it was really important for gold, is the love trade. There's two demands for gold. There's the fear trade, which dominates the psychic of North American media. And that's negative real interest rates, and that's money supply growth. Where the love trade is about rising GDP per capita in China and India, which is 40% of the world's population. And there's a cultural affinity towards giving gold because they've lived through bad governments for centuries. And gold, in fact, in India, they have 6 times the amount of gold that Indian women own than Fort Knox.
Yeah.
So that's preserved them. And we could take a look at charts in rupee terms. Gold has come back in rupee terms for them. So for me, it's really important to look at the growth in GDP per capita of China and India. 60% of all demand is love. And that's the key factor. So don't get caught up in the fear trade. But in North America, inflation is the fear trade. And all this tariff bantering is going to lead to greater inflation. And I think also they've been talking about the CPI numbers, that if we use the CPI number, the factors that created CPI in 1990 in America, inflation is pushing almost 10%. So this 2.4 or 3% is bogus. Inflation is much higher. And we talked about Jet's airline. Well, guess what? Airline tickets are up 300%. That's big inflation.
Okay. Still staying with gold, you have the gold ETF, GoAU, Go Gold. Now you've been saying that streaming companies and royalty companies are the new smart money of the precious metals industry. Why do you say so?
They have a superior business model. And I think that that's really important to recognize. The revenue per employee of Franco-Nevada is $21 million per employee. Goldman Sachs is $1 million. Now they have royalties in Nevada on Barrick Gold and Newmont's operations. Collectively, those companies' revenue is about $600,000 of revenue per employee versus $21 million. So Franco-Nevada is so much more efficient. And Franco-Nevada is now paying dividends greater than all the other gold stocks. So it's just the leader. So when you look at Wheaton Precious, its dividend growth model, you take a look at Royal Gold, they dominate Go in Canada, which is 30%, and each quarter they rebalance. And we also focused on those other 25 companies. So it's 28 companies, not 88 of the big indexes ever, 65. It's very focused where management looks at increasing the revenue per share, their reserves per share, the cash flow per share, and they have higher returns on invested capital. That, when we back test those factors, they outperform all gold indices and most of the active gold fund managers. So we're thrilled about having GoGo listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange.
Okay. Now, recent data was published that global gold mine production has fallen for the first time since 2008. And you have been talking about peak gold, reaching peak gold for a long time. Do these figures signal that we are inching towards that fate?
Absolutely. And we had it in oil too, until the frackers came along. And it's really fascinating to watch that it was the breakthrough in fracking technology, which was pivotal in changing the whole demand side, supply side in America. And with that, we don't have anything in mining. Only Superman can see through rock, and he has difficulty with lead. So I don't think we're going to see anything except for robotics. Robotics is going to be the big part in artificial intelligence for mining, for exploration, for producing the gold, but not for actually finding it. So I remain very bullish on gold. I think gold can easily go to $1,500 this year. And I think, in fact, it should be on money supply growth. And when we look at the world, it should be around 7,000. So I think that gold has been actually depressed and pushed back. But I think we've seen lawsuits come out against the major banks that are playing games in the gold space like they do in LIBOR. So I think gold has bigger, better legs on it. And there's a new company called Mene, which you can buy 24 karat gold jewelry like you can buy in India and Dubai with only a 10% markup. Picasso's granddaughter designed it. And basically you get 24 karat gold jewelry, and if you want to sell it, it's at a 10% discount. Wonderful. So it's going to be disruptive to the old gold jewelry model in North America, whereas in China and India, you can go and buy beautiful gold jewelry at a 10% premium
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. Always a pleasure to speak to you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.